Have you ever wondered how Jon Jones became a household name in the MMA world? Well, his story starts in a humble background, where wrestling was a family affair. Born in 1987, Jones was the youngest of four boys. His journey into MMA was almost accidental, sparked by the need to support his family. Jones turned professional in 2008, and what a debut it was. His unique blend of athleticism and creativity sent shockwaves through the MMA community. It wasn't long before he was climbing the ranks, making his mark, and turning heads. By 2011, just 3 years into his professional career, Jones had achieved what many fighters only dream of. At the tender age of 23, he became the youngest UFC champion in history, breaking records and redefining the MMA scene. So Jon Jones started off strong, setting records early in his career. But what happened next? With a promising start, how did Jones continue to cement his legacy, you may ask? Well, let me take you on a journey through the reign of Bones, a period where Jon Jones not just held on to the UFC light heavyweight title, but defended it with an iron grip. Jones's reign was one of the most dominant in the history of the UFC. He etched his name into the record books by setting the record for the most successful light heavyweight title defenses. This wasn't a feat achieved overnight, but a testament to his prowess, hard work, and an unwavering spirit. Now let's rewind to some of his notable victories. Remember the night when he faced Quinton "Rampage" Jackson? That was in September 2011. Jones not only defended his title but did so in style, making Jackson tap out to a rear naked choke, and becoming the first one to finish Jackson in such a manner. Fast forward to April 2012, Jones was up against Rashad Evans, a former friend turned foe. The fight was intense, emotions were running high, but Jones stood tall, winning a unanimous decision and proving to the world that he was not a one-hit wonder. Then came the epic battles with Daniel Cormier. The first one in January 2015, where Jones outpointed Cormier to retain his title. Then again in July 2017, Jones knocked out Cormier in the third round, reinforcing his status as the undisputed king of the light heavyweight division. But like every reign, Jones's was not without its share of controversies. His dominant run in the ring was often overshadowed by his struggles outside of it. Yet despite the challenges, Jones's reign in the UFC remains one of the most impressive in the history of the sport. Jones's reign was undoubtedly impressive, but it was not without its share of controversies. But we'll dive into those in the next scene. Stick around, you wouldn't want to miss it. Can a champion's legacy be tainted by his actions outside the octagon? This question becomes relevant when delving into the controversies surrounding Jon Jones. The dichotomy of Jones, the unparalleled fighter inside the octagon versus the troubled individual outside of it, has been a critical part of his narrative. Jones's first significant brush with controversy came in 2014. He tested positive for cocaine metabolites ahead of a title defense against Daniel Cormier. Though he was not suspended due to the timing of the test, this incident was the first glimpse into Jones's struggles with substance abuse. Fast forward to 2015, and Jones faced legal troubles. He was involved in a hit-and-run incident in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which resulted in a pregnant woman being injured. This incident led the UFC to take unprecedented action. They stripped Jones of his light heavyweight title and suspended him indefinitely. However, Jones' battles with substance abuse and the law didn't end there. His return to the UFC in 2016 was marred by another failed drug test, this time for 2 banned substances. This led to the cancellation of a highly anticipated rematch with Cormier and another suspension for Jones. Following this, Jones had further run-ins with the law, including an arrest for aggravated DWI and negligent use of a firearm in 2020. Each time, his actions outside the octagon threatened to overshadow his accomplishments within it. Despite these controversies, Jones has shown an uncanny ability to bounce back, displaying a resilience that is as remarkable as it is perplexing. And while these incidents have undoubtedly tarnished his reputation to some extent, they have also made his career all the more fascinating. These controversies have certainly added a layer of complexity to Jones's career. But how does he stand today? After all the ups and downs, where does Jon Jones stand now, and what does the future hold for him? Well, Jon Jones has always been one to bounce back from adversity. After tackling his personal and legal issues head-on, he made a triumphant return to the UFC. Not one to rest on his laurels, he's now shaking things up by making a move to the heavyweight division. Jones has always been a force to be reckoned with, but his recent performances have been nothing short of spectacular. He's been lighting up the Octagon, showcasing the same skill, power, and agility that made him the youngest UFC champion in history. His current ranking? It's pretty impressive, even by his standards. But let's not get too caught up in the past. What's on the horizon for Jon Jones? Well, the future is looking brighter than ever. While he's already made his mark in the light heavyweight division, he's now got his sights set on dominating the heavyweight division. And if his recent performances are anything to go by, we wouldn't bet against him. There's no shortage of potential opponents for Jones. Some of the biggest names in the heavyweight division are already lining up for a shot at him. Not that he's fazed. In fact, he's relishing the challenge. He's made it clear that he's not here to make up the numbers. He's here to win, and he's got the talent, the drive, and the ambition to do just that. But remember, this is Jon Jones we're talking about. He's never been one for playing it safe. He's always pushing the boundaries, always striving for greatness. And that's why, despite all the controversies, despite all the setbacks, he's still one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC today. Whether you love him or loathe him, there's no denying that Jon Jones has left an indelible mark on the MMA landscape. Will he continue to do so? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, we can't wait to see what he does next.